Hey man, how are you?
Hi, Sid. How are you doing?
A bit disappointed because now when I look at the current score between England and India, India lost both of their overnight batters, Pujara and Kohli, quickly by that Robertson dude. But before we get into that part of the cricket, let's quickly wrap up the West Indies and Pakistan. Pakistan won the second test, eh? A drawn series. I think a fair result because I think Pakistan played well. I mean, they deserve to get a win under their belt there.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic bowling performance from Paki. Uh, they could have easily won the series 2-0 if you think about it. That first test was touch and go, but I think the Windies first innings total 150. That's where it was lost. I
Hmm.
feel they just if they got closer to that Pakistan score,
Hmm.
they probably would have made it. But I think being 150 behind in the first inning was always going to be a tall order. But I mean, Afridi bowled superbly with that ball, man, and the way he swung it. And I think he's one of those bowlers that people don't like to talk much about. Uh, Maybe because he's Pakistani, but Pakistani players don't really that much of. But this guy has been fabulous, and he's still so young. And I think there's going to be a lot more to come from him. In as time goes by. There's going to be spotlight on him because I think a fast bowler generally reaches his peak at around 27, 28. So he's got a long way to go. So expecting big things from him in the future. And rightly so, he was the man of the match, and I would say the bowler of the series so far.
Yeah, man. I agree with you on that. And I think, on a final note, I think Pakistan should be given credit for their declaration. It was really bold because they gave them a lot of overs to chase over 300 runs. I thought if West Indies had applied themselves, they could have actually gone for it. I mean, the required run rate wasn't much, but I think the bowling was off the charts. So I think, but the funny story is because the day was lost, I think West Indies all they had to do was just bet out time in that first innings. I know that sounds a bit defensive, but it's just one of those things. I guess it's something they'll look into in the future.
Yeah, I guess this is a challenge with West Indies, especially in this format, that they really don't like batting time. It seems like they want to play a whole lot of shots,
Yeah.
and that's tends to get them in trouble. Test cricket is all about the patience game. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's about application,
Hmm.
wearing the opponent down. And the longer you wear the opponent down, the more chance you got of winning the test match.
That's true.
So I think they got to look at the way Root is batted over the past 3 weeks, and just take a leaf out of Root and the way he compiles an innings, and that is exactly how a test batsman should be compiling an innings. And it gets easier, no doubt about it. It gets easier, but you got to see out the threat in the initial overs, and once that's done, that is why you need a good opening stand. An opening partnership is very, very vital. If you can get that, then I think it makes your middle order's job a little much easier. But they don't seem to have that concept with them lately. I mean, currently in the test arena, that needs to come down. You need at least one or two players that's going to knuckle down and score those tough runs. That's what you need to win test matches.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see. I was trying to see who was the man of the series for this. Was it Shine Afridi by any chance? Because I'm trying to open up the this tab here on the PC. Um, okay, give me a second. Uh, oh yeah, I was right. Shine Afridi. Yeah, congrats. Real. Sorry?
Fantastic performance from Afridi, and I think he was probably the difference in this series. And you kind of look at it, and as I said, it could have been a series where it could have been gone 2-0 to Pakistan, or it's sort of a series that ebbed and flowed. But he was the constant. I think he was a one bowler in the series that pose the most amount of threat to the
Hmm.
batters. And yeah, I think well deserved in the end.
Yeah. So now speaking of bowlers making a difference in the series, I can't believe it. This morning, three wickets have fallen down between India and England now in this third test match. Kohli, Pujara, Rahane, and Anderson made his presence felt, getting a wicket this morning. Got Rahane out. Robinson is a real find for England, hey?
Oh my
But
God. So it's
yeah,
right now.
yeah, it's 2:30 something for five, or that's nearly 2:40. It's a real funeral out here, man. I was really hoping for a miracle, but I guess reality had to kick in eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. Reality has to kick in, and I think India probably shot themselves in the foot by getting bowled out for 78 in that first innings. So
Mm. Mm.
that was probably one of the low points in a long time because this Indian side have had some good moments recently. But then I go back to Adelaide and they're 36 all out. So if uh, if you take those two performances, those are the two performances you probably want to forget. So
Yes.
I would think that opening day was probably as bad as it gets for an
Mm.
Indian side
Mm.
with the bat and with the ball. Uh,
Yeah.
Getting bowled out for 78, I mean, understood your bowler's not going to have much of a chance. Uh, there's not sure how runs to play with, but I think the way they
Yeah.
came out and bowled,
I
uh,
don't think you
England was
deserve to.
superb. England was
Mm.
superb in that session. I think they just
Yeah.
broke the backbone of the Indian batting lineup, getting the big
Yeah,
guns
man.
like Kohli, Pujara, Rahane, and KL Rahul. He had such a good test match at Lords, and he went out
Mm.
early. So if they look at those dismissals again, there's quite a few loose shots there. The balls they could have
Yeah.
left, they went fishing, and I think that was their downfall. And I mean, the way the England openers came out, Hamid and Burns, it was really authority. They played with so much of fluency, and it's been a while that England have had such a good opening stand, and I really thought this partnership was going to go on, but
Mm.
uh, they did their job. They weighed the bowlers down, and I mean, you can't ask more from your openers, man. If they can give you 50 overs at the crease, that's more than enough time for the middle order. And I mean, we talk about it over and over again. The run machine route, he's been in superb form. I mean, I watched a bit of his innings, and uh, before I could leave for work, I watched his first 15 balls, and he looked so assured, and he hit two boundaries, just wide of slip, wide of third slip, and he looked so in control. There was absolutely nothing that was going to fluster him, and having that
Mm.
sort of uh, the start that the openers gave, and that platform was already set for him to come and show his class again, and boy did he do it. And I just like to give a mention to Milan as well, because I thought he batted beautifully, and unlucky strangled down the leg side to the keeper, and I thought he was good for 100 as well. So it's been, I think, if you just take away tomorrow, yesterday's day three, I think it's been probably
All
England
England.
for 3.5 days. Utterly dominant performance so far, and uh,
Yeah.
you just had to look at the Indian score. I mean, five down now, so it's a tall order.
Actually,
You've
now
got
seem to be six down, and wow, shit, man, this Robinson has taken three wickets
goodness me,
now.
goodness
Ay, ay,
me.
ay. Yeah, man, looks
Look,
like. Mm, ah,
getting back to the bowling performance from England. I mean, Jimmy Anderson. I mean, the wily old fox. We talk about him. Probably one of the best test bowlers that ever played this game, and he showed his expertise on day one, and the ball was shaping away from the Indian batsmen. He tempted them, and they all fall in the trap of playing those balls just outside the off stump. So they kept it so simple. And Robinson, I mean, I think if England had to go back at the series and whether they win it or lose it. I mean, Robinson has probably been a revelation for them with the ball, and you just see him today. I mean, he's been superb.
Yeah, not to take anything away from him, but I'd love to see how he does under Australian conditions. I know people have said that he will do well because of his, I think, pace or whatever built, but it'd be nice to see how he does because in English conditions, I mean, pitches are such that, I mean, yeah, man, they really favor the bowlers a lot, especially that first day. Yo, fine, I know 78 all out is inexcusable, but man, those conditions were not nice. But anyway, that's how it
It was,
goes.
it was really challenging, but I guess, Lords was challenging as well, and India weathered the storm in Lords. The way the openers batted, they batted very, very
Yeah,
sensibly. And I think,
yeah, but I guess it's, but
I
yeah,
think a
I know
little
what you're
rotation.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's a bit more. But I think India's had this pattern. They just win one great, and then they have a bit of a meltdown in the next. Hopefully, I guess it's a good kick up their backsides. If should
That's true.
they lose,
That's that.
should they? I
Yeah,
think
I
they will
think
lose it. Yeah,
I
I
was
think
I
it's
was listening to an interview with Vaughan and Harsha Bogle earlier on it,
yeah.
and what you brought up, he mentioned the same thing about India after a test win, they lose that gloss, but and there've been some major wins in the past recently, wins in Australia and then beating England at home quite
Hmm.
convincingly, and then I think in between they lost a Test championship and. This game is not looking too good for them after that triumph at Lords. So I think a little bit of inconsistency is creeping in here. But, uh, I felt, if they apply themselves, 220, 250 wouldn't have been a bad score on this week. It would have been a
Hmm.
really challenging total, I would think. So, 78 all out. I mean, that's
Yeah,
just nothing for the bowlers to play with. Absolutely nothing.
yeah. Like, and I'm not trying to defend India, right? But I think it's hard to keep really mentally focused on these pitches because it's so mentally taxing, you know? You really got to be at it.
Definitely. I think England is probably one of those touring. I mean, when you're touring England, it's probably a more challenge for the batsman. I think the batsmen have got to, that first session as well. You got to give it to the bowlers. You got to respect the bowlers, and it gets a little bit easier. But I think the first session of day one of a Test match in England, it's always a bowler's game,
Mm.
and I think if you can win the storm, it gets a little bit easier. And I think a lot of players that have made runs in England, I
Mm.
mean, guys like Smith,
Mm.
uh, Amla, they've all did the hard yards and they've all dug in deep and then they've been rewarded later on in the Test match. But look, Australian conditions will be totally different to what you see in England. I mean, England are experts. I mentioned to you they're really experts when it comes to swinging conditions. But Australia is probably more bouncy and more seam friendly. So yeah, you got to have a bowler with express pace, and that's where a guy like Archer would be so valuable in Australia with those bouncy pitches. He can get that extra bounce and pace, and he would be a weapon. So I mean, even a guy like Wood as well. So you
Yeah, I
need
think they
pace to
should
win
use,
Australia.
yeah.
Pace.
I think the way they should use Wood would be like how Australia used to use Mitchell Johnson. Remember, Michael Clark used him the best actually in those 4 over spells. I think England might do well to consider that as a strategy because I know how Mitchell Johnson used to really be menacing with those bounces and full delivery. So maybe England could consider using Wood like that. But anyway, we'll get to that series when the time comes. So let's just wrap this up now because this match is really looking like a funeral. You're expecting India to be bowled out by today and English win. By how much runs are you predicting it by?
Look, it's not looking good at the moment. I mean, they expected to obviously maybe lose one or probably at most two before lunch when they've lost four already. So, I mean, it's not looking good at the moment. I expect, England to win today. Uh,
By an
either
innings
by
or by how many wickets?
well, an innings would be much more, likely. But I mean, if the Indian tail wags a bit, and we've seen that a bit in the series. So I don't want to write that off as well. So it's either
Yeah.
going to be by an innings or by 10 wickets, judging by how the Indian team,
Yeah,
Indian tail bats.
but if I pushed you to pick a result, what result would you say?
I'll probably say by an innings, then. I'll probably say by an innings
And
because
and
that's been the
and and okay, and how many runs?
that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I would say between 20, 25
Okay,
around there.
fair enough.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I thought you were going to say maybe an innings and 50 runs. At the moment, the deficit is 107 runs. But yeah, let's be conservative. Let's say by an innings and 20 runs. Let's give India the benefit of the doubt. Okay. Uh,
I guess that would be the gulf between both sides in the series. In this test match, I would say. India have been so far behind the test match that they've been playing catch up from day one. So that's difficult
mm,
for a team
mm.
to do.
Yeah, man. I was really
I
hoping
would,
for miracles of miracles.
that's cricket
Yeah.
for you. That's why we love this game.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
It's
I
a great
think,
leveler.
yeah, I guess Steve Harmison was right when he spoke about yesterday when he was on that match day live where he spoke about England winning this comfortably tomorrow, coming back. So I guess that's how it goes. I think that's pretty much a wrap, unless you want to add in anything further.
Yeah, look, I mean, England are probably favorites for this test match, definitely. And, I gave you my prediction. So 1-1 going into the fourth test. It's going to be a cracker. It's really, really going to be a cracker. You got two sides evenly matched that are going to go, cat and mouse with each other, trying to get that test victory. But I think England would take a lot of confidence from this test match. And I just want to say it's back to the drawing board for India from here.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought after India won at Lords, everyone was saying India's best chance to win in England. Now it's kind of like even Stevens. Now you can't like write off,
Definitely,
especially
absolutely,
yeah, mm,
absolutely.
yeah. But I still feel that should India apply themselves like they did in the first two tests, they could at least retain the series. I won't say they'll. Initially, I thought they would have won the series, but I think if they retain it, I think it's better than nothing at the moment.
Yeah, look, we've got two massive games left at the Oval and Old Trafford, so it's going to be huge. And I
Yeah.
think the next two venues probably favor a bit of spin, so I wouldn't be surprised if R. Ashwin comes into the lineup. So yeah, interesting to
Yeah,
see
yeah,
what happens.
People have been calling for him to come in, so at least he'll be coming in, hopefully. I mean, he would have been useful on this track to finish this discussion off. He would have been useful because there was turn on
I
offer.
guess he has.
Yes.
I mean, he's got that on-roll ability as well. So I think he would have strengthened the batting lineup as well. So if you look
Yeah.
at this game, the Tigleys are a bit longer. So I guess you're missing one extra batter at number 8. But
Yeah.
it's about getting the ball. So they had a look at the conditions, and they went with a seaming attack. But I mean, who would drop any player from that Lord's time? So yeah, it was
Mm,
a difficult one. But I think they've got to rethink their strategy for the fourth test. Definitely.
mm, yeah. Okay. I think that's pretty
Yeah.
much it. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks. Chat to you soon.